I used to think it wasn't true.
But then you met people outside of your family.
You thought about it, and
But we've got some good weather.
There's at least 3
Also,
weeks out of the year that are quite warm.
Oh, goodness. Actually kind of true. So, our 2 official languages are English and French because both the English and French colonized Canada together, technically.
Hand in hand. Let's colonize together.
this together.
Honestly speaking, I don't really hear any bad
Right?
stereotypes about Canadian. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Pagoda One with
John from America.
George from the UK.
and Joanne from Canada. So, everyone, today we are going to be talking about some assumptions or stereotypes about Canadians, also known as probably the best people out there, compared to these. I don't know.
I would label Australians the best people out there.
Ooh, that's a spicy take.
That is a spicy take.
Nah, Canadians.
Why would you
not there.
say? Why would you say?
They're the
Australian?
most fun to watch online.
Oh, wow, that's true. However, none of us are Australian.
No,
I guess we've got John and George with
We
some
do.
cue cards.
you guys know this format by now.
Yes.
Video 3 of 3.
Video 3 of 3. But I guess to talk about stereotypes that I'm kind of assuming will be
Yeah, what do you think?
among
Just do
these.
top
Yeah,
two.
Oh, my
top
top
two.
2. I'd have to.
Don't show her the cards.
John!
No.
Okay. I'd say the top 2 assumptions are that Canadians apologize often.
Okay.
And probably something about us all speaking French.
We'll get to that.
We'll get
Maybe.
it. Yeah,
Maybe.
maybe. I don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know.
We'll see. Number 1.
Okay,
Let's pull the card here.
I'm ready.
Canadians say boot a lot.
Show the camera.
Show the camera.
Show the class.
I used to think it wasn't true.
But then you met people outside of your family.
You thought about it, and
But okay, like I don't say a boot, like, but there are some Canadians,
Yeah.
typically those that live like up north in Canada, that do have like a Canadian accent, I guess. But I did realize that I do say a lot.
You do.
Like, oh yeah, that's pretty interesting, And I didn't realize that I did this until one of my friends pointed it out, and he's like, "Oh, you're still Canadian." But I do say a.
Are you like hyper aware now?
Yeah, now that people have pointed it out, I don't really do it. But oot and a boot, not very common.
For you.
For me, at least. But some Canadians do say it. Some. Not a lot, but some.
more rural, perhaps.
Yeah.
All right, my first one.
Yeah.
So number 2.
Also known as
That's
the
number
second
2.
one.
You guessed it.
Okay.
You know it. Canadians all speak French.
I knew that this was going to be one of them. Okay, so let me just get this straight, okay, everyone? There is a province in Canada that is primarily a French-speaking province. That's all due to a lot of history. I'm not going to go into a history lesson, but the French people ended up colonizing that specific area in particular. So Quebec, which is the province, that is where most people speak French. However, not all Canadians speak French. Our 2 official languages are English and French because both the English and French colonized Canada together, technically.
Hand in hand. Let's colonize together.
this together.
But with that being said, there are probably more than like 100 languages spoken in
of course,
Canada
yes.
altogether. So
Do you speak French?
Yeah.
I do speak French. I am from. Thank you, John. I'm from Ontario, which is the province right next to Quebec. But I only learned because I went to like an immersion school.
Oh, they dunk you in water.
Yes, they dunk you in French. Yeah.
Go to the number 2.
Dangerous.
You're
To
number
that.
2.
AKA number 3, which is, I know this is not true.
Okay.
Canada is always cold.
Not true.
It's not true, I know that.
No.
You're so angry.
We've got some good weather.
There's at least 3
Also,
weeks out of the year that are quite warm.
Oh goodness. Actually kind of true. So I think this is a stereotype because typically Canada has longer winters in comparison to a lot of places.
Yeah.
For example, in Korea, it's like shorter than a Canadian winter. Like in Canada, sometimes we'll get snow in like May sometimes. But it really depends. Like from year to year, it fluctuates. So I think I'd say Canada is colder than normal, but we do technically have like 4 seasons, technically, in most
Officially.
of the provinces. But in the northern territories, those are typically just like cold
Yeah.
all the time.
I have never had this before.
Okay.
But I am intrigued.
Okay.
Because I've heard all about it. Canadians live off of Tim Hortons.
Hey.
Okay. Yes, but also
No.
like
What is Tim
times-
Hortons? Because I'm
Okay.
a little bit fuzzy.
For the people who are not familiar with Tim Hortons, it is our domestic brand of coffee shop of choice.
It's like Starbucks.
Yeah, the Starbucks to the US. We've got Tim Hortons in Canada.
Especially for donuts, right?
Donuts and coffee.
Now, do you live off of this?
Yes.
I don't think that we live
Is it like
off
something
of
like
it.
Starbucks where people are constantly
Always,
walking in
like,
the street clutching it?
Depends where you are, but typically downtown, yes.
Okay,
Okay.
it's Tim Hortons, it's not Starbucks.
I'd say it's on par. You'd see like an equal amount of people like drinking Starbucks to people eating or drinking, Tim Hortons. But for me in university, that was my lifeblood. That's all I could do. So
This
I
Canadian
did. This Canadian
lived off.
Tim Hortons.
Do you miss it?
Do I miss it? Sometimes. Sometimes.
Something else relating to food and drink. Canadians always eat poutine and drink maple syrup.
Oh, drink maple syrup.
Drink maple.
Drink
syrup.
maple.
Right
Yeah,
on the tree.
Tree.
Poutine is probably one of our most famous Canadian
Yeah.
foods, mostly because like when people ask me, I don't really know what else to say other than poutine. Maybe I would say like bannock, but people don't really know what bannock is. It's kind of it's a bread.
Okay, sure.
Okay, all right, guys. Other than that, yeah, poutine's probably our most famous traditional food, I guess, which is also from Quebec.
Do you eat it a lot though?
Is it drunk
No.
food? It seems like good drunk food.
It is definitely good drunk food. For those of you who do not know what poutine is, it is French fries, gravy, brown gravy, and cheese curds. The reason
great.
why we don't say like melted cheese is because it has to be the cheese curds.
Yeah.
Like they
And-
gotta be like solid. They've reinvented poutine multiple times. So we even have like a Koreanized version of it too. Where
Was
they
it
add
kimchi?
kimchi.
Yeah, okay. Something about. I just knew that was gonna happen. Yeah.
But
Feel on
maple
that one.
syrup, it's what we're really known for. We have a lot of it,
Yeah.
but I don't think we always eat it.
I mean, if I could always eat it, I would.
Yeah.
Maple syrup is bomb.
Pancakes.
Yeah, so good. With waffles.
Oh,
Are you ready for this last one? My third.
I am always
the final
ready.
6th one. All Canadians know how to play hockey, but I think it means ice hockey.
Oh.
No, not all Canadians know how to play ice hockey.
Do you?
I figure skated when I was younger, but I do not know how to play
Okay.
hockey.
Okay.
I know how to play field hockey, but I don't know how to play ice
That just makes you a
hockey.
bad Canadian.
No.
Traitor to your
Angry
country.
if you talk about field hockey versus like if you make a distinction.
If we make a distinction.
If like some
Okay.
Canadian says I play hockey, I'm like, oh, ice hockey?
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't think
Okay.
so.
I guess the
I have
Heard that,
met
heard
some
that.
really passionate Canadians
Still in the
that,
hockey.
that are
Oh.
very obsessed with like ice hockey.
it's kind of like going to an American and being like, you mean American football?
Yeah.
And they're like, what do you mean football is like...
Football is football, bro. Now, what is a stereotype that you hate to hear?
Honestly speaking, I don't really hear any bad
Right?
stereotypes
Yeah.
about Canadians.
No, Canadians are very
Yeah.
lovable.
I think we're just very peaceful
Good
people.
eggs. Good eggs.
Yeah, for the most part.
I would say.
I think maybe the assumption that we all speak French is a little bit much. Or actually, about how like all Canadians are white.
Oh.
Oh,
That's like a big stereotype that I just
Right.
like
The
don't.
assumption that it's a
Yeah.
vastly majority white country, and it's like, no.
Yes. Canada's a very big, open country that accepts a lot of immigrants. Yay, Canada. And they just have a really, really big population of a vast number of people, myself included. I identify as a Canadian, but I don't look like a stereotypical Canadian by
Nice.
multicultural standards.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
gotta get that accent going to get people really.
Yeah,
but-
like, Oh, that's so interesting. Hey,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you guys talking about?
Is there any sort of stereotype that you would want to let them know, or anything that you would
What
want
should
to
we know
let
about
them know?
Canadians that we don't know?
Yeah.
Something that I think people should know about Canada is that while there are two major cities in Canada, which are Toronto and Vancouver, neither of those are the capital city. Our capital city is Ottawa. So for anybody coming to visit and they're like, oh, you're from Toronto, isn't that the capital city? No, it is Ottawa. And that is where our Prime Minister lives. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
I don't
here's a
open the
good
can of
one.
worms, but here we go. Yeah.
The assumption that all Canadians aren't racist is something that I think I should address.
Oh, yeah. Not
the-
every Canadian is nice, is what
Yes,
you're saying.
exactly. Not all Canadians are nice. There's a really deep history behind how Canada was colonized and how the population is what it is today and how many people were hurt in history. So I just like to say that yes, there are a lot of people who suffer in Canada, but they are still trying to make amends slowly. But hopefully over time we can all live in a very peaceful country with many other nations as well.
All right, hippie.
Why is John so mean? So
from
American.
America.
And also, America is just Canada's pants. Thank you. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk,
Brilliant.
everyone.
Well, to wrap up our little series on stereotypes from each
Yes.
country.
It's kind of sad. Should we do stereotypes of other countries and kind of guess if they're true or not?
Oh no, we shouldn't. We can have guests though.
We could have
Could have
guests.
guests.
Guests from a different
Maybe.
country, just off the
Yes.
street.
Who knows?
So please remember to like,
Oh, comment?
And subscribe
yeah, and share.
and share.
Share. That was the worst one we've done yet.
We're getting worse as time goes by.
Bye,
Bye.